Hi Flosstube, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and it is Monday, March 25th, 2019. I was rewatching my last video trying to figure out what I told you about in that one and what I still needed to tell you about in this one, and I said it was May. I am desperate for spring. The warm weather has been making me happy, and now we're back to rain, but at least it's not snowing. So, my big project for the week has been All Is Calm, my Dimensions Gold kit. Still doing the Dimensions Sal with Amy of Amy Deville, and still absolutely loving this. I'm kind of working on the trees, and I did a lot of white and blue and stuff that doesn't really show, but this is my baby. I love it. It's my favorite project. I'm happy. I also pulled out a Little Girl's Fancy again. Moving this onto a bigger frame has made it a lot easier to work with. To work on the dollhouse or the trunk or the chair, I was having to shift it around on my 11-inch Q-snaps, and that was a huge pain. So this is helping. I did the other night, I was watching Pet Sematary with the boys, the old one. I did the furniture in the dollhouse. And I had kind of a revelation. The problem I am having with this at this point is the backstitching. Well, part of it's the backstitching. The half stitches that are for things like the walls of the dollhouse are solid colored squares on the chart. And those solid colored squares are very similar to one another. And my problem, which I had not yet admitted was a problem, is I'm having a hard time figuring out what color to put in what place, and it is driving me batty. Similar problem with the back stitching. They'll use one color of lines for several different colors of floss, and then it's stitch the ribbon and the flower in this color and stitch everything else in that color. And it's a lot of text to wade through to try to figure it out. So I think I'm more enthusiastic about this than I've been in a long time, but I think what I may wind up doing is just picking a color and going with it and not worrying so much about what the designer intended for me to do. We have a new LNS down in my neck of the woods. Someone posted on Pacific Northwest Stitchers on Facebook about Exclamation Point, a new needle workshop in Lebanon, Oregon, which is very close to being on my way to the grocery store and Grandma's house and the library and everywhere else. So I visited last week. The owner was kind enough to let me film some video, and I'll put a link to that video here. If you're in the area, it is a small shop. I had heard that most of their selection was old, but first of all, you've got to figure I packed up my stitching in 2006 and didn't pick it up again until last year or so. Anything newer than 2008 is new to me. But she had a lot of Michael Powell and a lot of Bothy cut works and things that I think are new. So it's a fun shop, and she has an amazing room of thread and an amazing room of yarn. So I think you should visit. While I was there, I picked up this one. What is it? Pumpkin Patch Farm by the Victoria Sampler. I have been kind of pining after this one for quite a while, and so this was my birthday present to myself. I had looked at the chart and I went, oh, I could do that on Ada. And then I got home and looked at some of the specialty stitches and went, no, you can't. That is silly. Mostly what I want this for are the buildings and the pumpkin patch and the tractor, which I can totally do on Ada. Would it be such a crime to replace the specialty stitches with something else that I could do? Has anyone done that? Has anyone done a Victoria Sampler on Ada? Am I totally out of my mind? I did do one for my sister's wedding on Ada years and years ago, but I don't think it had any stitches that I couldn't convert over to that. In my video about Exclamation Point, I told you to look for the dragons that match the driveway so that you can find the place, because the city won't let them have a sign by the road. She posted on Facebook yesterday someone stole her dragons. And I shouldn't be surprised. This is the area we live in. This is the kind of stuff that happens here. But look for the long driveway. Check the address. It is not terribly hard to find, but it is in a very residential area, and it will look like you're in the wrong place, maybe. It's there. It's worth a visit. My birthday's tomorrow. I got presents early from my parents. I got a new realist kit. It is a still life with a wheel of cheese, and there are no words to tell you how giddy I am about this still life with the cheese. The only thing scaring me is the black fabric, but look at those colors, and it is the wool, and I love it. I also got, does this have a name? I don't know if there's a name. Stitching ABC. And it is lots of little vignettes of details. It's going to be fun. Last time I showed you, I'd pulled out my glue and was gluing needle minders. And this is the project that was working on. I used Shrinky Dinks and old vintage hot iron transfers and made a bunch of fun needle minders. I didn't glue magnets to the backs of all of them because I want to glue magnets to the back of everything, and I decided maybe I should save my magnets until I decide which needle minders I want to use on a project. Word of warning, if you just do the Shrinky Dink with a Sharpie and glue a needle minder to the back, it will show through and it is not going to give you the effect you want. So I painted the back and put some Mod Podge on the back, and if you want all the details, I made a video. I'll link to that because I'm having fun making videos. I finished my socks. These, I started them in February because they were red and Valentine's Day, and they're socks. They're not exciting. They will keep my toes warm. They're a pretty shade of red. I love the self-striping yarn, but they're socks. They're not exciting socks. I tried to start the new sock for Sock Madness. It is, what is it? It is a Magic Circle cast on, and oh my gosh, I cannot. This is a common cast on. Lots of people know how to use this cast on. It hurt my head. It hurt my mind, and being left-handed does not impact my knitting much, but this has you draping the yarn over the dominant hand or your non-dominant hand and looping stuff. And I found some YouTube videos showing how to do it left-handed. I sort of almost got 4 of the 8 stitches I need. I don't wanna. I don't wanna, and I don't know. This may be the thing that throws me out of Sock Madness for the year, and if it is a minor thing, but ew. So I'm casting on another pair of socks that are just going to be easy socks, and I pulled some yarn out of my stash thinking this would be pretty, my definition of spring, maybe, I don't know, prettier in real life than I remembered it, so I am happy about that. This is Knit Picks Hawthorne Montevilla. I bought it a couple years ago when they were having one of their tremendous yarn clearance sales, and it has been, I bought every color they had, marked down dirt cheap at the time, and it has been just my favorite yarn. I love this stuff. I have done shawls, I have done socks. I'm going to be really sad when it runs out. I'm hoping they clearance more colors at dirt cheap prices before that happens. And I think that is it. Life is not showing any signs of settling down, and I am doing a lot and having a lot of fun, but not having as much downtime as I want. Hi. And you would think if I'm sitting here talking in front of the camera, they might realize that I was filming a video, but apparently not. I'll upload this so that it posts tomorrow morning, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Michelle with Michelle's Romantic Tangle.